Hey y'all, this is the Unexpected Wonder, and I'm coming to you today with a discussion, long time coming, religion versus spirituality. Now, after researching many different philosophies, having many discussions with different folks, friends, family, and otherwise, um, all all across the philosophical spectrum. Um, I've come across this same subject time and time again. I believe it's time I need to address it. Address the misconstrued thoughts, the misconceptions all out there. And in this video, I will deal with three parts. First part, what is religion? Second part, what is spirituality? And the third part, religion versus Christianity. And the reason I'm doing the last part in specific is because that's a really hot topic right now, especially in the States. So, what is religion? Religion, like so many words in the English language, the term can be used in multiple ways. Okay, religion is not one thing. People try to say this is the definition of religion, depending on the context. I usually use it a different way than most people try to use the word religion. Now, three ways. The first way religion is usually used, it is usually used as refers to theism. Theism, what is theism? Theism is the belief in a god or gods, namely how religion is used, especially in the States in this day and age. It refers to one of the three most prominent monotheistic philosophies that exist in our world currently, which are Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, however you want to say it. Secondly, religion can be referred to as, and this is, I believe, really what most people mean when they say the word religion, and when you ask them what they mean, it is any set of orthodox doctrines, teachings, writings of a philosophy, and again, it's namely theism, but not limited to. That's what religion means, an orthodox belief, as opposed to cults. And I will not get into cults in this video. That's another subject for another time. Now, what I usually refer to, and a growing number of people are starting to refer to when they mean to religion, and again, they kind of mix up. A lot of people, when they bash religion, actually mix two and three together. Don't know why, but they do. The third way to refer to religion is a dogmatic, systematic, binding chain that is used to control someone's mind. Now, it still differs from cults a tad bit, depends on how it's used, but it can be used for cults. So it's a really dicey term, but I usually use it as a dogmatic chaining set of beliefs, usually coming from a very authoritarian, if not totalitarian, entity, such as a government, a priest. Like, I'm not against priest, but a priesthood that rules, any ruling class kind of thing. Okay, the old example, Karl Marx said religion is a drug, where a drug for the masses. That's the kind of mentality here, where it's used to dull the minds of rational, reasonable, and logical thought. There's that. And like I said, I usually use that third definition in terms of religion. Now, moving on to the second part of this video. What is spirituality? Spirituality, I will get common examples are really true Christianity. There's a difference between Christianity as a religion and true Christianity. I would say, I can't say all, but most forms of Buddhism, or Buddhism, however you want to say it, Rastafari, depends on how it is, but the usual case of Rastafari, which in some ways connected with Christianity, and Taoism, or if you prefer Taoism, from what I understand of it. I've only done limited research, but from what I understand, Taoism fits. And there are other examples, but these are popular and well-known philosophies across the world. Now, spirituality has existed far before religion and will probably exist far after religion. If even religion dies, spirituality will never die. Because spirituality is very hard to put a definition to, but I say every term needs a definition, so I'll try to define it. Spirituality, when I think of the sense of spirituality, it means you have a personal connection with, nature, God, the force. You believe in purpose. You understand? It causes you the philosophy of whatever the philosophy is. It causes you to see yourself as important, but also to see that you are only a part of the greater picture, the greater reality, however you want to say it. I don't want to go too in depth because there's more to get to in this video, but the main gist of it is it's not a binding thing. It's a little bit like everyone's spiritual experience is different from the next. So it's hard to discount someone else's. Now, there are other things that come into play, whether it was actually a legit spiritual experience or not. But that, again, I'm not getting into that one. But that's just the general thing. It's a personal thing. As opposed to religion, as I normally characterize it, it is religion is usually a very rigid, again, very systematic, dogmatic set of beliefs where you can't really think outside the box. Spirituality allows you to, it's like water, it's a wave, you just go with the flow of how life goes, how fate decides to a certain extent. You do have free will, but there is fate involved. You understand? It allows for the possibilities far greater. You understand? With even the concept of God. That's why I throw Christianity up in there. It doesn't put God in a box as compared to what most people think of Christianity. God is omnipotent, means he's all powerful. Omniscient, meaning all knowing. And omnipresent, meaning all there. He's supposed to be a being that exists outside of time and space. So he's not bound by the limits and the conceptions of the universe that we live in. You understand? It's not completely boundless, but the possibilities are somewhat endless. It seems contradictory, but it's not. And again, I'm not trying to bore you and linger on this subject. Now, to religion and Christianity, religion versus Christianity, however you want to think about it. When I often say true Christians or Christ followers, true Christianity, there's a difference between that and religion. Now, I'm not going to try to take shots out on this one because I don't want to offend Catholics, Eastern Orthodox, Baptists. I could, denominations. I myself am non-denominational for many reasons. Just saying, I'm a Christ follower, non-denominational for many reasons. But all that being said, why am I non-denominational? Because if you really look at the teachings, the life, and all of what Christ stands for, his death and resurrection, he taught love, he taught servitude, he taught you humility, he taught compassion, he taught forgiveness, he taught wisdom, and you could go a whole slew of things. His stuff was revolutionary. He was a radical. So you could possibly say, for fellow hippies out there, fellow modern hippies, the original hippie, you could say a lot of things about who Christ was. Great teacher, possibly the greatest philosopher ever. I consider him such. A prophet. He was a lot of things, and he went against the established order. Now, compare that to how religious Christianity has been seen throughout the ages. Do I really need to go there? How, the Vatican and the Middle Ages ran Europe, how the Crusades were just immoral, power-hungry, greedy wars. That's what a lot of people throw out their Crusades in a minute. How people forget that, like I said, Christ was killed by the religious, by the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the teachers of the law at the time. Not all of them voted, but the majority, the consensus, had him killed. How the religious persecuted Peter, John, James, the apostles, those who were of the way, later known as Christians, throughout the first century and the second century and all that. How Paul, he usually his transformation. So all that being said, when you look at what is known as dogmatic Christianity and you compare it to what the biblical Christ, what Christ stood for, you will see a complete polar opposite difference in the two. Just do the research. I tell anybody, and anybody who ever talks about Christ never can actually slam Christ. You may have problems with the Bible, you may have problems with everything, but if you get down to the nitty gritty, the center of the Bible, it begins and ends with Christ. Christianity, Christmas, all these, Christ, it begins and ends with Christ. That's what you need to understand. Look no further than Christ. And if you start with Christ, you understand what it's about. Now, if you come into it with your own thoughts and own beliefs and own biases, prejudice, whatever, that's what you're going to get out of Christianity. You're gonna slam, you're gonna slash it. But if you begin and end with Christ, there you go. Just stick with Christ. And then honestly, if you start with Christ, the rest of the Bible makes sense. It really does. And if there's others who understand it better and whatever. But like I said, this was just a video felt I had to do. I was watching, actually I was listening to another discussion, still finishing up, discussion on God and religion. I had to think about it, and like I said, I've had the discussion, it's almost about countless times with me, and I'm going to continue to have a discussion because there's a lot of confusion out there. I hope I was able to clear up some things in this video. Like, comment, subscribe, tell me y'all thoughts. Tell me when you think I'm wrong. Tell me more. I would like to know more spiritual philosophies that exist today. Because, like I said, back in the past, like, people started out spiritual. That's just what they were, Look at Africa. Look at Asia. Look at the Native America, throughout the Americas. Religion, it isn't completely a Western society, a Western civilization creation, but religion as we know now is, yes, it is a Western creation. It's definitely not an Eastern creation for the most part. Like I said, Hinduism has some different ones, have some parts, you have the different kings and whatever, but religion as we know now, no, it's a Western creation. So that's it. I'm done. This is Unexpected Wonder. Hope y'all have a beautiful day. Peace.